I was good, man.
But those are the kinds of things that are hard to recall, you know?
What?
At one point, the melody was in the back of my mind, just bum, 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 ba-da-da-da-dum. But now it's somewhere else.
That was a song. That was a melody to a pre-existing song. You didn't just will that.
No, that's a popular one. It's like a march or something. Hey, buddy. Ruby, come here.
Yeah, man. It's like you do this. It's like you do this every week and you forget how to do it every time. You know.
Right.
It's one of those things.
I don't have any of those things, but
Yeah.
I understand for you.
Right. It's hard for me. I'm a slow learner. It's hard for me to get used to this crap.
Like more of a visual learner, hands-on.
That's true. That's why I do the video.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't listen to many books?
I try to read books.
Read them physically.
Yeah. Listening's cool though. I think that's good.
Right, because then you hear it.
Yeah, it's not something I do though. Really.
You find it impairs the relationship between you and the book?
Sure, you could say that because.
Or do you just not feel like it's cool?
Well, some audiobooks are good than others. Some, I mean, they'll have a narration and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. A lot of the times it will probably put like a fixed idea of, I guess, the tone of the book. It kind of gives you a way to perceive it. If you were just reading it on your own.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, you'd have a different experience, I guess.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Yeah,
I remember when we were reading The Outsiders in school, they had a pretty funny vocal narration. Like, it was pretty... it was just kind of a little hokey, but it was still good.
Right.
I think it still matched the tone.
Right, it's fun. That's an easy character.
No, that's not really a fun book, but...
Well, it's a fun thing, you...
No, I was actually thinking about it the other day because in... we were in like elementary school. We had, do you remember when you were like in elementary school, you'd have a short story you would read in that big book like every week or something? Or
No.
You didn't have like big, huge...
We had large books, but they weren't necessarily filled with short stories.
You didn't have any short stories that you like analyzed or anything like that?
Who's to say I never... I've definitely analyzed some short stories.
But that wasn't taught to you guys?
I don't think it was part of the curriculum.
Okay. Well, we had that, and I think we had like mandatory, like sit down and listen to it. Like there'd be a voice that would read it to us, just kind of it
just in your head.
No, they played it on like a CD.
On the speaker, off the CD.
Yeah, but I always thought it was I don't know. I don't think any of us really liked it. I think we all thought it was dumb. Most of us could basically read by then.
Right.
And it was like every other week there'd be a guy speaker and then a girl speaker. Every other week they'd alternate. And the guy always spoke way faster than the woman. For some reason, I don't know why. So like it was like one week it was like, okay, it's not so bad. And then the other it was the lady, and she would always pause in between her sentences, which is just, it was always like kind of patronizing because we could all read just fine, I'm pretty sure, or at least I could.
Yeah. This lady, she doesn't have any kids. She's recording this on GarageBand.
Maybe she's used to like
she's trying to fill that void, so she's trying to let it linger.
Maybe her like experience with reading is to her kids, and it's to read to sleep, and she doesn't realize for a job.
Maybe her kids could be idiots.
Yeah, that too.
She could have...
I was just saying, like, maybe, like...
Stupid children.
For her job, she should consider, even though it was probably, like, 30 years ago when she recorded it, I think she should consider that when it comes to a job that kids get it, their attention span is dwindling, and you don't need to pause in between sentences.
Also, yeah, we can just AI this stuff now. We don't need you, lady.
It's really...
We're gonna burn a
pretty
CD?
sad. Yeah, all those CDs, man, they're basically useless now.
Right.
I mean, they're not useless. You can do something with them.
You can do something with everything, but...
It's true.
What are we all doing? What is the point of
Recycling. We're all recycling.
We are trying to,
I mean, that's what the movies are doing.
Recycling ideas.
Recycling ideas.
No.
Recycling objects.
No, I don't know if that's such a green mindset.
Why not?
Because a green thumb is all about innovation.
Yeah.
And if you're reusing these same ideas, you're going to lose the ambition that brought you to turn your thumb green in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this making sense?
Yeah. Like, I have a friend right now who's working on a garden. She's killing all the grass and killing whatever needs to be killed to prepare for this garden. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of reading, a lot of murder. Of invasive things.
Right.
And a lot of research goes into it.
It's all of perspective.
It's a lot. So, and I'm thinking, like, I mean, you're just doing what everybody's telling you to do. Why don't you just, I don't know, plant the seed and see what happens?
Right. Yeah, I think as a society, I think we've moved past patience.
Right, just try something new. Who needs all these gardening books?
Right.
That tell you how to garden properly. Just
the best thing you can do with a gardening book is you can use it as like a fire starter when you're starting a fire
because you're gonna need a fire at some point.
Right. Yeah.
Well.
And so, okay, Trevor, let me ask you this.
Okay.
So those of you who don't know, Trevor has a little scooter he rides around on, and he charges it with solar.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, is that a viable option? I mean, is it realistic?
It's good for the environment. Definitely not realistic because I don't know anybody else who has one but me.
Right.
So I don't even know if what I'm doing is real. But no, I think ideally, if you get power from the sun, that's
more power to you.
More power to you. I think that Superman gets power from the sun, and I think we basically all do from humans. As humans, nobody should.
We all like Superman.
We all like, most of us, except for my brother, man.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, you see the Superman trailer on TV, and he's like, come on, really? Another Superman? I'm not going to see it.
Is your brother a man of steel?
You could call him that. He's definitely like, his mind is a steel trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your brother who likes cars?
Yeah, he likes Yeah, well, there's no getting to him. There's no getting to his vulnerability. But we were saying, yeah, he hates Superman. He's a guy who hates Superman because it's another recycled idea.
Okay, so there's one guy.
There's one guy, and it's my brother. He hates the Man of Steel. Hates the Man of Steel.
That's fine though.
That's fine. Yeah, who needs?
That's kind of to be expected as well.
Yeah.
And if you get that high, literally, metaphorically, it's because like Superman's flying.
Yeah.
People are going to be looking up, trying to take you down.
That's fucking true.
That is statistically correct. I mean,
dude, if somebody started flying, they would get shot down.
Yeah, I might do it.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
It's a bird.
It's dead.
No, that's, yeah. And then they would then it would probably get covered up and get researched on. It'd be another Area 51 thing,
But then it makes a good podcast topic because we can kind of say nothing about it for a few minutes and then...
Yeah, and then move on to the next thing.
And it gives us something. It's a nice... Because if they solve it, then it's like,
Yeah, whatever.
Same with all these murders,
Yeah.
All these Netflix docs. There's people who are murdered or missing like for the 9 years. And they're waiting for 10 years. And they're about to swoop up the rights. They're like, I hope they stay missing so we can make this documentary.
Yeah. Those documentaries don't actually. They just kind of, I don't know. They don't solve all those mysteries.
It's like the Diddy documentary just came out. It's like,
yeah,
new information about the Diddy case on Peacock. Peacock now, $13.99 a month. It's like, how do they get the entertainment rights to? Like a bunch of rape. Anyways, we'll scrap the whole segment, but the whole the thing I'm trying to get back to is like It's what is this, episode 6, Trevor?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you had, I don't know, did you have anything to say? Because I had something to say.
No, nothing.
Well, I was gonna say that we we film them like 3 weeks out, so it's kind of nice that the stuff we talk about is never ever topical because it was 3 weeks ago.
Right.
So it's kind of a testament to how fast time moves.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and eventually, I think you guys are gonna start seeing. We'll be predicting stuff that's gonna happen because we're 3 weeks behind you, where you are right now watching this, and I think you're gonna start to notice we see things coming, and that's just a result of the hard work we put in here. Thanks to nobody else, because no one's contributed any money.
That's right.
Nothing.
And yeah, justice for the bass player Metallica, man.
Yeah,
yeah. But I was gonna say the Simpsons, man. They weren't doing so hot when they first came out, and then now they're still running. Biggest show ever. They predicted so much cool things.
Right.
So many cool things.
Wait, what's the South Park? I'm thinking of South Park.
What about that?
It's a good show.
Well, that's the difference between us and South Park. We do this 3 weeks ahead of time. They do it a few days ahead of time.
Right. So if you think about it,
we're kind of doing it smarter.
Yeah.
Because you got to, I don't know.
We're not going to say better.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's clear we're doing it smarter.
It might be.
You been reading any good books? Hardcover, paperback?
There's the book by Raphael Bob Waxberg.
That was good. I finished it.
You finished it because you listened to it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm reading it. I'm halfway through. I haven't picked it up in a while.
Right.
I'm editing all the time. But you finished it because you listened to it.
Right.
But for those of you who don't know, it's called Someone Who Will Love You in All Your Damaged Glory.
Right.
Beautiful book. Halfway through it.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
Pretty good. Yeah, no, it is really, it makes your heart hurt.
Right. You ever read Animal Farm?
Yeah, I bet that, no, I haven't read it, but I'm sure it'll make your heart hurt too, and it'll make your brain think. I would hope.
And that might be the best case scenario for a lot of the viewers.
Yeah.
A right step today puts you in a better place tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. We could put an Amazon link to the Animal Farm book.
Yeah.
So our viewers could read it.
Yeah.
We could turn this into we could make this a book review show.
Definitely a segment. We could have some recurring guests that come on. We talk about the recent reads.
Yeah.
Arthur Acorn's recent reads.
Yeah. We got to get him on, dude.
Yeah, I know. When he comes back. I don't really want to talk about that right now, though.
Yeah.
If that's all right. What time is it right now?
What time is it? .com. 5:35.
What time is he coming? 6:00. So we have roughly a tight 25 until he gets here.
Yeah. Well, you think he'll be punctual?
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
It could go either way, so I don't want to cast a judgment and then, have to edit it out. So I'm going to leave it at I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know either.
I'm just saying I like to leave it as an open floor. I like to, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and we're going to make the best of it.
All right. Well, what can you tell me about this guy then?
Let's talk about him. I don't know that much about. He's a musician.
Right.
He is a man, and he
plays in his band Leghorn.
Yeah, ask me about him again. I'm going to give you a better summary.
Okay. So tell me, who's this guy Matthew? Tell me about him.
Well, Matthew, he's a musician. Plays in Leghorn. Twiddles on the guitar, and sings with his voice.
Yeah. Is it? Do you want another take?
No. That was all right. Do it again now.
So tell me about this Matthew guy.
Well, Matthew. Well, Ruby tried to kiss me there. All right, do it again. Now this is getting weird. It's gonna look. All right, hit me with it. Ready?
All right, so tell me about this Matthew guy.
The thing about Matthew. It's episode 6, guys. We got Matthew coming on. He's a musician, plays in Leghorn, the band. A little guitar, a little vocal. He's a jolly good guy, and we're gonna get to know him. I mean, we're gonna dive into his life, kind of get a summary. We'll try to sum him up as a person. I think we'll sum him up as a person within the first 20, and then we'll have 40 to just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a very good idea of who he is. So we're gonna get down into it. We're gonna be like, hey, how are you doing? You know, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah. Into the real shit.
Every single week we're getting more purposeful, more thoughtful,
Yeah.
more driven.
That's the goal.
It's a Tuesday. Ruby's here.
Ruby's here. I mean, that always makes the episode better. Gives it better ratings.
It does. People go crazy for Ruby. All right, we got it. What time is it?
It's fucking 5:40, 5:38.
It's 5:38. We got tight 22 until things get rolling here, and we're gonna have a meeting, make a few deals, and we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Trevor, any words?
None.
The Acorn Archive.
So that right there is a glass of water.
This is a glass of water.
And we were touching a little on, health. This is a lifestyle podcast. It's important to stay hydrated, wouldn't you agree? Oh, yeah, I'll have a sip with you.
It's important to stay hydrated.
What are your thoughts on hydration?
Hydration is the best.
And have you been staying healthy recently?
I began my health journey this morning when I realized I have not drank water in like 2 days. And I've
So
been getting my hydration.
one sip at a time, though.
One sip at a time. We take it one sip at a time.
Yeah.
But, popped a ibuprofen.
Uh-huh.
Popped
And
the
you
water, popped
do you
the
usually
quick
go
water.
ibuprofen over Tylenol?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised on the Motrin.
Me too. I
You
used to take the ibuprofen. I've switched to Tylenol, the fast release. One of them's like a thinner, right? And one of them's the other thing.
I believe so.
So, I mean, it gets pretty technical.
I do
when
the
you-
one where it's like the 2 pills.
Right.
And it adds up to 400
Are
milligrams.
they the gel ones or
And then
the...
they have like the chewables that are like
chewables.
100 milligrams.
Chewables are always fun.
Those are kind of fun. They're too fun almost. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of worries me how fun they are.
Right. I get some vitamins. I look forward to, eating the gummies. Which is a sad turn for things, really. I mean, I think that's just kind of winter getting to me.
Yeah.
Because you got to find joy in little tiny things.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Because it's cold outside.
It's cold. It's fucking cold.
What am I got to put on a jacket to have a good time?
Pop a gummy.
I'm going to eat a vitamin.
Yeah. No, it's supposed to be like what, 10 degrees next week?
Yeah, it was like 50 degrees for one day. It felt great. I was like, here comes spring. And
Fool's spring.
no. But we got to remember the viewers are on a 3-month or no, I'm sorry. 3 week
behind.
3 week behind. So
It should be warmer. That's
might
like
be
that's Ohio State spring break in 3 weeks.
right. It might be like the
Yeah.
best of times in 3 weeks.
The best of times.
It could be the best of times. It could be the worst of times. But we don't want to, we don't want to cast a shadow on what might be. We want to talk about what is.
That's right.
We do need to talk
That's
about
what we're here
it is.
to do. And what is this? You might be asking. This is a podcast. And what we're talking about is Matthew.
I'm Matthew.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah. So, my name's Matthew, like you said.
And you were a child once.
I was a child once, believe it or not.
Okay, so you start out very young.
Very young, like close to 0.
Okay, so you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And tell us about when things really started. When you really came online.
When I really came online, I feel like,
What was the first memory you have? What is it?
Oh shit! What is my first memory?
Mine was in a hallway, I think.
And
I was short. I
feel like I have a concerningly gap-filled memory for like my first years of life. I do remember vividly this one time I would so my grandma would babysit me, right?
Yeah.
We'd be in the house, in the living room. I had like a little toy microphone, toy guitars, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I would turn off all the lights and make her sit down and watch me sing along to this Michael Bublé DVD. And it was glorious.
It's kind of a rite of passage.
Yeah, everybody does that, right?
Did you ever have a paper jams?
Sorry, what?
Did you ever have a paper jams?
Paper jams like in a printer?
So what it was...
oh, shit, no, fuck, yeah, those.
It was the guitars.
That unlocked something in my mind.
And you can play it.
I did never have them. No,
I had
I
two
feel
of
like
those
I
things.
was
They were
2
awesome.
years below the age bracket for that.
Right,
I
those
had
were the
older neighbors
best.
that had them. And they also had the yellow Nerf guns where we had the
Yeah.
blue ones. Yeah.
What happens to that stuff? Where does it go?
It seems
You
to be
still have a
handed
Nerf
down.
gun? You still have your Nerf gun?
See, I had them up until 3 months ago.
Okay.
We had this chest of all sorts of Nerf guns.
And then the
in my
accident
basement,
happened.
and then my mom gave them away.
Right.
And I hope they found a good home.
You'd hope.
I really hope.
It's probably
that they're
some
not in
old dude.
landfill.
Old dude jumping on him or something. I'm not gonna say he's overweight, but he could exercise a little because this is a lifestyle podcast. We're trying to promote maybe a positive thinking, an optimistic.
Maybe doing
view.
some jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks are good.
Yeah.
Cardio.
Cardio's good. We bought a treadmill. My aunt moved to Boston.
Uh-huh.
And among the many things that changed in her outlook on life moving to Boston from Hamilton.
What's
Ohio,
Hamilton? Ohio. Okay.
Is that she thought that standing desks would be a good idea.
Okay.
And she's convinced of it, and she bought a treadmill to be walking on the treadmill in place while at the standing desk working from home.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
My mom bought one of these. It is so thin. If you have a normal gait, a normal stance, you veer off of it within 10 steps because it's so thin and you're looking straight and it's... I can't work like that, man.
No, you need to be... See, it's one thing to multitask. I understand the positive cognitive benefits of that.
Yeah.
But to just be mindlessly walking...
It feels... It's Sisyphean.
Sisyphean.
Yeah.
Now, there's no way that's a word.
To use a $1 million
there's no
word
way
there.
Sisyphean.
That's gotta be a word, man.
What does it mean?
It
Like
means
a Sisyphean
it means you got to
task.
push the boulder.
Yeah,
know?
you got to keep pushing the boulder, man. But you got to keep going on the treadmill.
Right.
You feel like a hamster.
Right. It's like what happened to just walking around?
Yeah. I think
good old fashioned manpower.
I think we want to work more than we do.
Now, what does that mean?
We want to be productive more than we are productive, and that's a really obvious statement.
Right. Are you talking about Trevor?
Oh no, I think Trevor's a great guy.
Oh, okay.
This is no any resemblance to.
So you're saying
real,
as a collective
entirely
people,
coincidental.
as people,
as people, this drive to be productive is so overpowering that we start multitasking, and the problem with multitasking is it's fake as fuck.
Right.
You're not doing two things at once. Well, you're doing two things half as well.
Yeah.
At once. And I'd rather be 100% walking.
Right. There's a real art of focus because you can have a day where you hop back and forth between a bunch of different things and you still get decent amount of stuff done, but since you didn't focus on any one thing, you never really feel any satisfaction of completing that stuff.
Yeah.
You almost forget you did it. And if you would just focus,
it would stick.
It would stick, and you would really enjoy it too, because you enjoy being in a situation, being like, "Oh, this sucks." Oh, Ruby, come on, Ruby. What's the first step? You got to email someone and see if you can get a date, and then you got to convince people it's a good idea to play this show.
Yeah.
And then you got to be like, "Oh, it's gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome.
This is gonna be
for
so
like
great."
An entire month.
And you do that to 10 venues at once.
Right. And
It's hard to
with bands, you have no idea.
It's hard to be sincere, like you said.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you word that?
Yeah, because the temptation there is to have like a stock email,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, here's the formula, and I just fill it in with the venue.
Yeah.
But like that's really easy to spot, and so I think, you're kind of locked into spending more energy.
Yeah. Well, you also don't want
it's
to
worth just to do the thing, and I think that's just the game.
Even
that
if
I have to get over with.
Even if it's like you can pass off a stock email as like a genuine thing, it doesn't really work because for you to be confident, because you're driving like hours to get to the place.
Yeah.
So to be confident that it's going to be a good show, you're going to have to like look into the bands that you're trying to book with, and they really have no reason to book with you anyways because you're not bringing anybody.
Yeah, it gets exponentially harder like
Yeah.
every 100 miles out.
Right.
Like if I mean, I'm sure you've noticed this too. Like you book in Cincinnati, like you kind of know the lay of the land. But if you want to book in New York City, like, I mean, I think we talked about this, like nobody gives two shits.
Yeah, you
and
can probably set
10
up a
hours
shitty
away.
show. You can probably set up a bad show.
Yeah,
in a
you're
good
more
city.
often gonna set up a bad show than a good show.
Right. But it'd be
You learn.
It seems like a simple concept to be like, can we get a guaranteed amount? But
Yeah.
these venues really aren't making that much money. That's the thing. Like there's no one really. I mean, who cares
Yeah,
about event? Like it's just some place. So they're not really making all that money. So why are they going to give you a guarantee? So, but then the alternative is like, all right, we really got to sell this thing out.
yeah,
And the problem is just like you're trying to start the thing, which is making money by touring.
mm-hmm.
But, there's no reason for anyone to book with you.
Yeah, because like
To
how
give you
many
that-
shows do we like pass up going to, let alone
Right, yeah,
booking
yeah,
with in Columbus?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many shows every night.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
You got to pick and choose, and I would wager most of those shows are more empty
yeah.
than people would like.
And it's
just
like-
'cause there's a finite audience.
And it's also like an uncomfortable thing. Like a show is like a lot of the time you're just standing in one spot. Like it's physically not.
It's physically vulnerable.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
weird thing to do. So, I only want to do it so often even. And then you gotta be begging people to do it. It's like, it's going to be a great idea for you.
Yeah.
Even when I'm having a great time at like a show I'm putting on, you look at it, all the people in the crowd, and they're just stuck in one
standing. Yeah,
place. It's like, oh,
it's
this is
hard to
weird.
get it all to fall into place. Like you could be
Yeah.
having a great time, but then the crowd isn't, or the crowd's having a great time
Yeah.
and you hate it. And
And then even so,
I don't know.
it's like,
I don't know.
What do you think?
Some of the best shows I've been to are the ones that nobody's there.
That's also true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I think part of it is just
But
this is the game.
rationalizing those is like,
Yeah, it's hard to
what I
rationalize,
mean?
but I
Like,
think this
You
is the
basically
game.
you can't rationalize that.
No, I think you have to. I think the synthesis I'm reaching like right now, this second, is that you just gotta like throw yourself at it.
because it
like
would-
you can't rationalize it.
it would be nice to just be put in the situation where you're
Mhm.
like, okay, someone just gave me this tour, now I'm going to do this tour, and it'll be how it is, and that'll be good. It'll be fun. We'll make a little money. But what it actually is like, I have to ask, like, if you're setting up a whole tour, it's like I have to ask, like, 200 people, and that's just like the bands and people setting it up. It's like, I have to convince them that this is going to be like
this
a
is
good,
worth it. Yeah,
and it probably isn't. So
and you're
it's
gonna
like,
be operating at a loss,
yeah,
like pretty much guaranteed in this day and age.
right.
So, but I think
what I mean,
ultimately
there's-
it's worth it.
How do you guys have a 3-piece, right?
We are a 3-piece, so,
So that's a
we're
little
pretty
nicer.
We're pretty economical.
You can make some money there.
Yeah, that's
This people offered me $100 for a show, and I was like, yeah, and then I was like, oh, that's only $20.
Yeah, you gotta split that with 5 people.
For me. It's like, I mean, it doesn't actually matter, but it's like,
no.
it's like 6 hours of practicing. That's probably an exaggeration, but
yeah,
that's why you should practice just to practice.
Yeah,
I know.
You practice just to practice. I think rationalizing it like
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
I think it's a fool's errand to
Right.
try to give yourself an hourly wage doing any kind of artistic work, because it's never going to be enough.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
Like, you just get paid for what you produce, as sad as it is.
It is strange. I don't know. I don't really know how many mid-level musicians, I guess, that are like make a decent amount of money, but not that much. I know there's just like gigging musicians who do weddings and whatnot, but you know, how many of them want to kill themselves? Let's talk about your childhood. I mean, let's get back to like
nice pivot from killing ourselves. Yeah.
When do you become who you are today? Does it gradually happen? I imagine it would gradually happen.
Yeah, gradually.
Because you start very young.
We start at 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born at a very young age.
And that's no fault of your own.
No. You get what you get. You know, you play with the cards you're dealt.
That's right.
And so I started as a 0-year-old.
And that's okay.
And I worked my way up to Michael Bublé.
That's very impressive. And is your grandmother still alive?
My grandmother's still alive.
That's beautiful.
She's a great woman.
You want to give her a shout out, maybe?
Shout out, Mamie.
Shout out. Okay, so you're dancing for your grandma.
I'm dancing for my grandma.
And there's got to be some stuff from there.
There's some
got to be some stuff in between.
There's some like preschool cleanup time. Like we would sing a song. Preschool cleanup time, and instead of cleaning up, I would be the band for the song.
Now, what does that mean?
And I'd play air guitar.
Air guitar.
And that was a good gig. I had that gig for a couple of years.
Didn't pay well, but
hey,
what a
paid
an
exposure.
What a crowd.
Great crowd.
Preschool. Do you okay? So, how vivid are your memories from long ago?
Long ago, honestly not too vivid, except for a few. But I feel like I have a fairly, if not complete, at least consistent memory of like grade school.
Yeah.
You know? Like I don't know, I had a good time in grade school.
Me too.
I still hang out with some grade school friends.
Elementary school was awesome.
Yeah. And it's
every
not like
year
I
was
like
a different thing.
But hey.
Yeah. Right. Good times. I mean,
good times. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think some formative experiences were I bought the guitar that I use on stage now.
Right.
That Maple Telecaster. I bought it in 2019 when I was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played guitar all my life. Like, played as in, like, I knew how to hold it. I could play chords. I could play a couple of songs. But, like, I locked the fuck in.
Right.
In, like, 8th, 9th grade. And then COVID happened. And I don't want to say blessing in disguise because, like, 1 million people died. You know? But
right, but it was a good time for you.
Hey, that gave me time.
Yeah.
I was playing Fortnite. I was
That's
playing
exactly
Rocket
what I was going
League.
to say. You're playing Fortnite.
I was listening to T-Lop 4.
In your room, you're learning the guitar.
I'm learning the guitar.
Hey, what's the point of this, man? Why don't we just stay in here? I'm going to just play fucking Rocket League.
Man. No, it was, I think it was, COVID was a very formative time.
Right.
For us all.
Right. Yeah. I keep teaching these kids guitar, and they're like, the 4 years for them was like 2nd to 6th grade, which is a crazy 4 years to just like not have actual school. Yeah, it's weird. But anyways, I mean, enough of the. Let's get back to. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. You're growing up.
Yeah.
And do you find the joy of life slips away from you?
Like high key, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think.
What year does it start trailing off? Does it start trailing off, or do you realize? I feel like
there's a distinct trail off.
Do you realize it was always kind of lacking?
Man, like from like my 8th grade quote unquote girlfriend.
Right.
All the way down. Right. And I think there was a sharp spike. There's a sharp spike to like insane happiness.
Yeah.
on October 10th, 2021, when I met Keith Richards.
Nice.
And then it went back down.
Okay, so
I turned 19 the day after.
Really?
Yep.
Congratulations.
That's good to know, man. Cause that birthday for me, my 19th birthday, that was a hard month for me.
That was?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Man.
that's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we'll leave it there.
he's a mysterious.
How was your
producer.
last birthday?
It's nice to know that, like, yeah, I was like going through some stuff, and then you met Keith Richards. That's a very sweet thing.
That is kind of
It's
nice.
serendipitous, isn't it?
It's kind of beautiful. Like, we're giggling over here, and someone's getting bombed over there.
Yeah, this is entirely true though.
Yeah.
But I mean, how was your last birthday, Trevor?
Oh, it was great. I had
Good.
a really
Good.
nice last birthday. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
I hope you have another one.
Yeah, me too. I hope I make it.
Right.
Auld Lang Syne.
Because it was a callback. But exactly. I mean, every day is a gift.
Carpe diem.
Right.
As that like sign on the wall in Void High, and I saw the TV glow says Carpe diem.
What is
That's
Void
exactly
High?
where that saying is from.
Void High?
It's the high school. It's the fictional high school, and I saw the TV glow.
I learned it from Phineas and Ferb, man.
I learned it from the Dead Poets
Hell yeah.
Society.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Great movie.
It's a great movie. That's a fun one. And he kills himself. So, you never know when a moment with your loved one's going to be the last. Lock up that gun and go to bed.
So, yeah.
Gun safety. This is an NRA sponsored podcast.
And do you find, like, when you were a child, when you were trying to sleep, did you have something? What was your late night activity? Were you up eating Triscuits? Are you playing the cube?
Playing the Rubik's Cube.
Right. Were you?
I was reading.
You were reading.
I was one of those kids where like I was punished by not being allowed to read.
That's fun. So you were okay. So
But
what
I
did you
also
read?
played- I
What were
played
you
a good
reading?
bit of
What's
DS.
what's a nostalgic book for you, or a series or whatnot?
The Harry Potter series,
Harry Potter's
specifically
awesome.
the ones that were like the hardcover with the jackets with the paintings on them.
Oh, I don't think I ever heard a hardcover.
You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
Yes, I did.
that was my shit.
Anything else?
Oh man, those
We want a deeper
DK
cut
like
than
those DK like Discover books where it'd just be like about a topic.
that. Those
Like
were
it'd
cool.
be like swords or like guns or
Right.
like samurai and it'd just be like a visual dictionary.
So you
All
were
that stuff. That was cool.
you were interested in information. You were trying to
I was trying to.
stimulate your mind, really educate yourself because not
I
everyone
wouldn't
gets
go
a
that
chance.
far.
Someone's
I think
getting
I just like
bombed.
cool shit.
Someone's getting bombed, and you got a chance to enhance your mind and your experience. And
I was
Expand your
able to do
reality.
the piratology book. Yeah.
what is piratology?
What is piratology? It's the study of pirates. It's that one book where they had the, like the gemstones on the cover and like.
Oh, this
It
sounds
was,
familiar.
it was like always checked out from the elementary school library,
Hmm.
like those ology books.
Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up. I was born at Riverside Hospital
Right,
on 315.
right. That's a highway.
I lived in Delaware,
Uh-huh.
and I went to school in Dublin at St. Bridget.
Right, so you were...
It's a Catholic school. Yeah. So, very bougie neighborhood.
Nice.
A lot of rich kids.
And did you have a pool?
I did not.
Okay, but were you are you a good swimmer? Did they have a pool in
I
the
could tread
school?
water. I could do the backstroke,
Tread water.
butterfly,
You good diver?
front stroke.
Not like
I can't dive,
So I don't want
though.
to say diving off a board.
I've
but
never
like,
had the balls to dive.
No, once you're in the water, are you good at diving down to the bottom of the pool?
I'm okay at that. I don't
Hanging
like
down,
it, though.
pretending to be out of air. Oh, I'm dead at the bottom of the pool. That sort of thing.
I've always had too much of a fear of death.
So let's get into that a little bit because I think a lot of the viewers are afraid of dying. And Trevor was saying he might not even make it to his next birthday. And
This is a pertinent.
fortunately, your grandmother's
Yeah.
alive, and everything's good with her. But we want to know how do you deal with that fear of death?
I feel like, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
You forget that you're gonna die someday.
Right.
You know.
We're kind of always like distracting ourselves from that. at all times.
Yeah, like a little bit of a terror management theory kind of thing. Yeah, I'm sympathetic to that. It's not nice to think about that you're not going to exist.
Right.
But at the same time, like what would it be like if you were immortal? I don't think it'd be worth it.
Right.
Well, I like what Nate had to say. He was
what did Nate have to
He's like, you died, like when you die, and then you die when someone says your name for the last time or something.
Right. Yeah. That I've always thought that was a nice saying.
But there's a certain cynicism in that because you're like, well, I want people to remember me, which is just kind of a strange thing.
Ego there.
Yeah, right?
Sure, but you have to be remembered long enough,
Yeah.
That's true.
Think about the last time you've ever been like mentioned, I guess, which could be a long time from now. People remember you for a long time.
I mean, I still mention like my great grandparents every now and then. It's not often, but like they still exist in people's minds. I think that's.
And I don't want to ask something too personal, but did they get bombed, or was this?
They did not get bombed.
They
were on the other side of the bombing.
Oh, okay. So this is a good, happy story. So when you bring them up, it's like you were like these were good relatives of mine.
There's a sense of pride. I guess.
This is on your father's or your mother's side.
Father's.
Okay. So I think we can all learn.
World War II vets.
We can learn from our own past, because although life is fleeting, and every moment's a gift, blah blah blah. It's also like there's a lot of time. If you think about how much time you're actually here,
there's a crazy amount of time.
You're here for a long time. I mean, it's quite a while.
But it's also a scarily short time. Like, have you ever seen those calendars where like every box is a week of your life, and there's only like 4,000 of them?
Right. And then
I hate that.
I keep scrolling.
Type shit. Actually, this is really pertinent. I'm doing like a research paper.
Right.
On
okay, so you're a researcher
on scrolling. Yeah.
Now, what have you come up with?
So I haven't come up with anything yet because I'm doing an autoethnography, which is a really fancy, douchey word for a diary.
A diary. So you're writing your thoughts down.
So I'm like chronicling like every day, like because it's become like a halfway between National Geographic and Train Spotting. Like trying to quit it.
Spotting?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's fascinating.
It'll be interesting.
It's important to. I mean, the practice of writing down your thoughts every day too is.
Yeah, because even if I wasn't doing it for a grade, I think it'd be worthwhile. Still.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a big stack of notebooks and stuff. It's a nice thing to.
It's good stuff.
Look back. And you never actually have the time. The more like footage I have, and like when I was younger, it was like such a novel thing to like have. Like a year ago was like, oh, I got this footage, and it's like, wow, this used to be like that. But now it's like, when am I ever gonna have the time to just like look at this stuff?
Through it? Yeah.
Maybe when I'm really old, but this stuff's all gonna be corrupt anyways. No, what are the chances?
Oh, jeez, I hope not, man.
I know, I hope not too.
Don't ever talk about files being corrupt in front of me.
Dude, once when I was young, I was like, to my dad, I was like, it's such a cool idea that like. I got a video that I'm recording now, and I'm just gonna have it forever. He's like, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I was like, oh no. I was like, where's YouTube going? He's like, I don't
know, man. No, but that's a real concern,
Yeah, I mean, something's gonna happen. So
these digital things are physical.
Things just become outdated.
Things
quick.
get outdated. Things get deleted.
And
the hard drives get blown up.
We're hoping the people
bombings.
we love, and, the people closest to us, we're hoping they don't get outdated and they don't leave us soon, because every moment is kind of a gift.
Live, laugh, love. Live, laugh, Leghorn.
Yes.
I love that.
Okay, so you're growing up. We kind of skim past the whole growing up thing. Okay, but I can picture it. You're little.
Yeah.
You're running around. You get a little bigger.
Run around some more.
Eventually, you are playing the guitar for your grandma, and this band has been how long now? Were you in any projects before the horn with the leg?
Yeah, so I brought up the Keith Richards thing, not just the flex, but also the flex.
Because you played with him.
I did not play with him. I had a very brief conversation with him about as far away as we are.
Okay.
So that was really cool.
Right.
I saw him in Nashville at Nissan Stadium.
And that's in Tennessee.
Yes. Nashville is in
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
What would you talk about?
It really wasn't long enough to be substantial. It was just like, hey, hi. Like, what the fuck do you say to Keith Richards? Like, I don't know. What's going through my head is like the kind of Waynes were like, we're not worthy. Because that's how you feel. But like, this is just like a dude.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, you gotta like be normal about it.
Right.
So, but still, there was a sense of like, oh, I was knighted.
Right.
Like this whole like, this is what I have to do now. And, I think I've tried to convince myself I'm not a superstitious person, but I am. I have a dream catcher in my car. I have a crucifix over my door. Yeah. I have a St. Michael painting over my door. I have prayer cards that I carry around. I don't even know if I would consider myself religious, but I believe in things like that, You
believe in intention, maybe.
Maybe in intention, but not in that like bullshit, like The Secret kind of way, where like you're manifesting shit.
Okay.
Like, I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in any causal effects, but I believe in meaning.
Yeah.
And truth beyond like scientific proof,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so in that sense, the Keith Richards thing was like, oh, this is a sign of some sort.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that he didn't mean it as a sign, but to me, this means something to me.
Right.
And I started my first band like 3 days later. But no, I had one band before Leghorn.
Just $1,000, and you can't do much with that.
I got a small loan of $1 million.
You got one band
From Keith Richards. We're gonna continue with the Trumpisms tonight.
Right.
And yeah, so I started that band with a grade school friend of mine.
Okay.
We'd known each other for a while. Her dad was a drummer for the longest time, and so she kind of carried on the family trade. Really interesting dude, her dad. Her dad was like a rally car driver in like Barbados or something. Wow. Crazy shit. But yeah, so we were just like, me on guitar and vocals and her drumming. Get some school friends in. High school shit happens. Falls apart.
Right.
Yeah.
But I have a high school friend. Not in that group.
Okay.
Fritz Manuel.
Yes.
My freshman year of college, I'm like, I am going to be in a band. I am going to be a rock star.
Uh-huh.
I am going to make money.
Right.
As a rock star. Even if it kills me.
Yeah.
Maybe not that last part, but like low-key.
Right, but the spirit of it.
Like the spirit of it, yeah. And so I call up Fritz. I'm like, hey, Fritz, you drum, right? And he's like, yeah. And so we put together a bill. It was August 25th, 2023.
Right.
Matthew Hollis and the others.
Yes.
It was me and Fritz, and then the bassist from the Box Seats.
So it was you and some others.
And the others. I didn't make that name, by the way. It was Fritz's doing. But it worked, and then...
How long did it stay as that? Just for this show? Nice.
Just that show, because I was asked to be on the bill, and I didn't have a band, so that's what I scrounged together. But Fritz and I stayed, jamming.
Right.
And then we got our bassist, Eric. And we went on for that, like, in that lineup for, like, 7 months, I think.
Yeah. And you guys were playing a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
It was cool. You guys came out of nowhere, and you're just playing, like... Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, no, I love it.
And that was a lot of bams, indicating that it was like several shows.
Yes. Many bams. Many such bams.
Mm-hmm.
And, he left the band because I think he's doing like aerospace engineering or something.
Right, and like that's like up in the sky and stuff.
It's crazy shit. He cannot be on the ground playing with us.
And that's unfortunate, but it happens.
When he has a midterm at like 7 p.m.
Right, and it's in
a class.
It's in orbit.
Like it's crazy. He's in orbit.
Yeah.
And so we end up getting another high school, not friend this time, but like friend of a friend.
Okay.
Luke Garvine.
Acquaintance. We'll call it, yeah.
So we all went to high school together. So it's like low-key a high school band, even though none of us played together in high school. And so
right.
I think it still
you guys
has
were
that.
all once in high school.
Yeah,
so.
it still has that like that tightness that like, okay, we know each other.
Yeah.
And I think that helps us.
Right.
So that, Leghorn's been going for about a year and a month now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's 13 months.
That would be 13 months if we're still talking about being babies.
If you think about how long of a time that is, and then also how short of a time that is, you know?
Yeah. It's like almost 400 days.
Right.
But that's it. And it's crazy.
Doesn't matter of days.
Yeah. Like you could just keep
They
counting
just
days.
keep on coming.
They just keep coming.
And then eventually they stop.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I am 20 years, 1 month, and 10 days old.
So that's like 20 years.
After the DS. After the Nintendo DS.
Right.
After the Nintendo DS.
Well, I had a DSi.
I also had a DSi.
I had the DS Lite.
Oh, with the GBA port on. I was always pretty envious of the DS Lite.
The DSi came out, we're like, where's the freaking, why can't we play Game Boy?
Right.
Game Boy games?
Right, that sucked.
Yeah. But it's a cool thing. I messed with that camera a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that where you got your start?
Yeah, did it start at the DS?
Well, actually, I do have a lot to say about that. Like, Nintendo has always, like, encouraged, like, sort of creativity. Like, DSi had, like, the Flipnote Studio. But that wasn't even, like, the first time they put out, like, animation software before. But they've always just, like, encouraged, like, just
like,
creative stuff.
Yeah. Or like the Mario Paint composer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did start out, like, with my 3DS, just making videos on that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was... Yeah.
Yeah. Those
Were
things
you like
were
a
fun.
YouTuber kid?
No, God, no. No.
Okay,
But, no, I mean, like, I did talk to my camera as if I did have a YouTube, as if there was,
Okay,
like, an
yeah.
audience.
Right.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I thought, whatever I end up doing when I'm older, I'll just be really good at that thing.
Yeah.
And I'll just try to be good, real good at whatever that thing is. The older I get, it's like, well, I can't actually just do anything and then get good at that thing because I'm never going to care enough about whatever the thing is to get that good. So, you got a ceiling on things because you got to be interested in what you're doing and you got to have an inclination to improve. And, someone like, Trevor, he's in that weird middle place where, he's got bills to pay, but he doesn't have that drive, that passion.
Yeah, that's why I'm late on all my bills.
Right. That's okay. It's okay, Trevor.
It's all right, though, yeah.
Yes. He's feeling down. It's fine.
You've brought up, y'all
wasn't trying to
both brought up, like, killing yourself, like,
Right.
the light leaving. Yeah, I don't think, no, you had no part in this.
Well,
Sorry.
this was like...
Simon, you...
This is a lifestyle podcast,
Yeah,
We're trying to
this is
give
pretty
people
deep.
little tips and tricks. We're trying to give them... this should be
like
an
a
outlet
health
for them.
podcast, like how to avoid dying.
Yeah, something
early.
like that. But we don't
Yes.
want to be like too derivative or too
Yeah. So
redundant.
you gotta
So we're trying to like
bring in the heavy hitters.
yeah, we're bringing in the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to say.
But where I was kind of going with that, this is a nice little segue.
Okay, yeah.
It'll segue back, I promise.
And that's like a transition you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is with the Minecraft stuff. Like, I know a ton of things about Minecraft from like a certain span of time.
Right.
Like just how the game works, like encyclopedic type knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's cool and all. But like I don't play Minecraft as much anymore. Like I'll hop on every now and then and build something. But like I don't know, I have other passions in my life and they
Right.
feel a lot more tangible, a lot more meaningful.
Yeah.
And it's not that Minecraft isn't good or that it's bad to like Minecraft. It's that all of that knowledge is taking up space in my brain.
Right.
And I either have to, consciously try to forget it, which is an insanely hard thing to do if
Right.
you've ever tried to consciously forget something.
you gotta
Or
kill
I just have
yourself.
to let it take up. You could also kill yourself. This is always an option.
Right, but you don't want it to come to that. is
You don't
what
want
we're
it to
trying
come to
say.
that. And so what I've resigned myself to doing is just having it take up space in my brain that could be filled with facts about the real world.
Yeah.
And, you can make of that what you will, but for me, that doesn't sit right. And if you want to talk about death and dying, we have, unlimited time on this earth, but we also have limited space in what we can give our attention to. And I
Yeah.
think the more careful you are about it, the better. And it's not like anyone's perfect, but like, I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about how much I know about Minecraft.
Right. This is the weird thing, you know. It's like as a human, you know that if you focus on something, even if you're bad at it over a longer period of time, you can become very good at it, and it can enhance your life. You know that, right? But there's too many options. There's too many things you can do that are well worth your time. That it's like that'd be pretty good for you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I just want to do a bunch of everything. It's like, well, you can't really do that.
It's really hard to do everything.
But, you know, there's got to be an actual way to pick the right thing and devote the perfect amount of time to it. But the more time you spend thinking about it, then the more time you're wasting not doing the thing, and then you feel all guilty about it, you know?
I think a lot of that thinking comes from having the assumption that there is the right way out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think there is. I mean, I've only been on this earth for, as we've firmly established, 20 years.
Right.
But I think I've gathered that the way this whole thing works is that there is no user manual. As for any of you Super Bowl fans, Harrison Ford said in his nice little Jeep commercial.
I saw that. It was a nice one.
Yeah. There is no owner's manual. You know, and I think operating under the assumption that you could find the right way to do something rather than the way that works for you is kind of counterproductive. It's not bad, it's just counterproductive.
Right.
You know, because like you said, you're going to be in that loop of wasting time thinking about thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like straightforward, but then when you're actually thinking about it, it's like, okay, I'll do this thing, and it'll be good, and that's a good use of time. And then you get distracted. It's like, oh, shit, I should have been doing that thing.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and you're kind of paying attention to it, and then because what I imagine it to be is like, if this is all a good use of time, I'm going to feel good throughout it, even if I'm not feeling like physically great or like that happy.
Feel good about it.
Feel good about like I just understand it's like a thing that's passing.
Yeah.
But you know, if we're being honest, a lot of the time I'm just in that like middle zone where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing at all.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remind yourself, what am I even trying to do? Or like, and then, you know, eventually, you know, depending on where you are, you see the drone coming, and that's it for you.
Yeah, cut to black.
So how do you support yourself in this economy? That's what we're trying to get at.
How do I support myself in this economy? Well, first, I live with my parents.
Right, and that's a good step.
I'm a Nepo baby.
Right.
For the house market.
Right, because then you can sleep somewhere and also retain more of your income.
Yeah, it's really nice. I am a serious Nepo baby on the college front. My mom works for Ohio State.
What are you doing in college again?
I am majoring in comparative studies with a focus on science and technology studies.
Could you compare some things for me?
Well, I could compare a lot of things, and that's kind of the point of the degree. I'm comparing, like, you know, people's experiences, like I said, with the paper that I'm working on with scrolling. I'm comparing that to the broader culture. You can compare a lot of things.
You compare a person and what you think about them.
You can compare apples to oranges.
You could compare apples to oranges. That's a common mistake people make.
You shouldn't
in this field.
I imagine that's like day one stuff,
that is
Trevor.
day one, like boot camp
come on,
stuff. That is a faux pas, as the kids say.
Right.
But no, it's interesting.
What is the actual thing? What is this? I don't understand.
I didn't know. See, that's the thing. Nobody knows what it fucking is. That's the beauty of it.
Right. It is
like
it is a nice little title. I don't know.
I came to Ohio State
good.
undecided.
Right.
And I find out that this is a major. There's like 60 fucking people in it, from like freshman to grad student.
Right.
And so everybody knows everybody, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But also nobody knows what it is.
Nobody knows nobody. No one.
Like literally nobody knows what it is. Like, to illustrate how much nobody knows what it is, my girlfriend's like great uncle founded the department, and he does not know what it is.
No, that's a strange.
It's very serendipitous, isn't it?
That is. I mean, it's because there's a lot of ways to spend thousands of dollars.
See, that's
and
the
this
thing.
is as good as any.
I'm only spending a few $1,000s. That's where
That
I
is
go
a
to
good thing. You
the
told me
Nepo
about
baby
that.
thing is my mom
That's
works
a
there,
beautiful thing.
so I get
because-
half off. I live at home. I'm paying $5,000 a year.
And what this
I can
allows
study
you to
what I
do
want.
is you get to spend less money, and then you have more of it.
Yeah,
Trevor, keep this going. I gotta go pee.
I'm very fortunate in that respect. I think it's kind of worked out. Yeah, it's nice. I don't know. What do you think, Trevor, about comparative studies?
Compared to film, I don't know. My camera's not running. That's okay.
Now, did you ever play the video game on the back of the Honey Nut Cheerios box? I want to know.
I did not.
Right, because nostalgia in a lot of ways
Nostalgia.
is pain.
Nostalgia's pain.
It literally is pain.
Right.
Algia.
It's
The
pain.
Greek for pain.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Pain and it's paying.
Right. Now what the fuck does
It
that
sells.
mean, Trevor?
It sells.
What
It
does that
sells.
mean?
Ever since fucking Jurassic World came out, they're like, oh, old things.
And this is a
are
movie
awesome.
about dinosaurs. And wait, you saying dinosaurs are old?
Dinosaurs are firmly in the old category.
Let's not pigeonhole
So,
any one
I mean,
category.
Nostalgia and retro has always been like big, I guess, no matter what time it is.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true. No,
they used to call the past because it has already passed, not because it was
Not because it's cool.
some cool part of our history. It was just that was the past.
I mean,
it was like
I've always
it wasn't
had
even.
this.
It was
Sorry,
just
go ahead.
time had passed. You say what you were saying because I feel like I'm reiterating a point to Trevor, and he's not understanding. that
Trevor,
the time
I'm-
had just passed. It
Trevor,
wasn't-
I'm
they
wondering.
weren't looking back in the same nostalgic way.
I'm wondering what your thoughts are on like the like anachronism of using VHS.
Yeah.
In 2025, like
Yeah.
I dig it. I'm not trying to like dog on you about it. I'm just like, okay, what is the rationale? Is
Yeah.
it like purely a pragmatic thing that like these tapes are cheap?
Yeah, rationalize it.
It is nostalgia. It is nostalgia bait, and Mac DeMarco and his crew totally popularized it.
Right.
And everybody started doing it. As well as like, it was always just kind of like,
The 80s are cool, man.
yeah. And it looks cool, and it's
It
still
does.
like, it's still practical. It still works.
I appreciate it as a stylistic thing. Like I think maybe nostalgia bait is too self-effacing of a term for it because it's something really cool. Yeah.
Well, it's an argument that like the old way they did music too, where they had to record it on tapes, and you
tape?
need like a whole team of people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a cooler way to do it because then
It's kind of cooler.
you have this whole group of people that have to be
Mhm.
working together, and you have to actually figure out how to make that work.
Yeah.
And you're all making something, and
It's
it
tactile.
all really matters. You got to write it out and make
Yeah.
sure it's a good part. before the
it's a lot
songs.
more intentional.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, intentional because
Yeah.
now
I
you
mean,
got
I still buy CDs.
now you can make that's could be a mistake. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get a summary of what you're looking forward to. What's going on?
I'm looking forward to my paper being in a colloquium at the end of the semester. That's gonna be kind of cool.
Who what is that?
Yeah, so like imagine like a conference
Yeah.
where you like a bunch of people present papers, but it's smaller.
That's a little Sisyphusian.
That's a little Sisyphusian.
got a good vocabulary.
That's right.
You got a good
He's a smart
Thank you.
gentleman. This
I'm
why-
looking forward to
yes.
that. I'm looking forward to Leghorn tour
Yes.
playing out of town this summer. You can catch us in a multitude of places.
I believe in
A
you. You
host,
can set it
to
up.
Use a nice $10 word again. Of places. And I'm also looking forward to Leghorn debut album coming out this year.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
gonna be good.
And this is a band you're in.
This is a band I am in, which we have not talked a lot about, but I don't really mind.
When does the thing come out?
We don't know yet. We're getting in the studio this month.
No, you guys do all the songs at once?
We did for the EP, but not this time. We're just gonna start recording
Yes.
and see where it goes.
See where it goes. I think yes, it's a good way to do it. 'Cause then
But
you
the
got
soft
whole
deadline
group.
is this year.
Soft deadline. Yeah, hard work
Pays
pays
off.
off.
It pays off.
Sometimes you work hard at something and then it pays off.
Sometimes you're hardly working at something and it still pays off. And
Right.
That's kind of the kicker.
But I
isn't it?
think, karma might get you back. You might get that drone might start coming, and that could be the end of it for all of us. So I'm happy to be here with you, Trevor. and you, Matthew.
I'm happy to be with
And-
you here, Simon and Trevor.
You know, if we never have another episode.
And Ruby, right?
Yeah, that's Ruby.
Yeah. Shout out Ruby.
Yeah, she's a staple of the podcast. This is, we're looking forward to the future with optimism. Episode 6.
Episode 6.
And we'll see you guys next week.